Hey everyone, MacDowin here. Today we are taking a look at Shadow Meowscles from Hasbro's new Fortnite Victory Royale 6-inch series. I ordered this from Amazon for $36.99. If you'd like to own your own, then I have a link for you in the pinned comment below. Over here on the left side, it shows what accessories are included, and if we actually flip around, different than the others, you'll see the weight bench that's included. For those who want to see the barcode, here it is. Let's get this cat out of the box because we can't see anything through this window. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe so you'll be notified of future videos. If you want to help the channel out and you play Fortnite, please feel free to add my creator code to your Epic account. It's MacDowin. Meowscles is an epic skin, and he's part of the Swole Cat set. Released in Chapter 2 Season 2, this skin was part of the Battle Pass at Tier 60. To get the Shadow version that this figure represents, a player had to complete a Shadow quest. He's one Swole Cat. Meowscles comes with the solid scratch harvesting tools. There are 2 of them, and that's what they look like. The Feline Fun back bling, it's a ball of yarn, and it actually looks pretty cool. You can kind of see the textured appearance of yarn. It's got a couple mouse grenades attached there from the side. The ring goes through. It looks like either the nose or the mouth. It's kind of funny looking. A pair of fist hands that hinge from side to side, as you can see. A small barbell, and this is just a really cool little accessory, I think. If you notice here on the side, there's a bit of marbling that's happening, so it must be some sort of a natural thing with this plastic here. The weights rotate a little bit. I'm not sure if they're supposed to. They almost look like they could slide off, but I'm not going to try because I don't think they're actually supposed to slide off. These are not separate. This is like one entire round weight set on each side, so don't try to separate them because they're not separate pieces. Has a set of white dual pistols. These were actually tucked in his holsters. You can see one of the holsters right there on his waist. Gold handles, white gun. These are really nice looking. Pretty good. A heavy assault rifle that, as you can see, is bent, so we're going to have to heat this thing up and try and straighten that out for the better. Otherwise, he's going to be shooting this way, so every time he aims, he'll be shooting at people's feet, I guess. But it's a nice looking gun. It's really a big gun. Then we have his weight bench with weights. These are removable. Well, once you unhook them there, they can attach either here or here. This is one piece. They don't come off. They kind of rotate, but they don't really. When you rotate them like this, you're actually bending the bars, so don't try to rotate them. They're they're decently, for what they are, they're decently heavy on the sides, so doing this is going to promote a lot of bending. You may want to handle it like this, unless you're going for the whole bent look. That's kind of a cartoony thing. Set this off to the side. The bench does come in 3 pieces. There is the bench portion and the front portion, and then the back portion, and then the front foot. So there are 3 pieces, and it just disconnects or connects like that. Meowscles is actually about 3 3/4 inches tall. If you can see that there, I'll get it a little bit closer. He's not quite 7 inches tall, but he's definitely a little bit larger and taller than 6 inches. So let's put him next to a few other action figures. Here's US Agent from the Marvel Legends line, and he's not really too far off. Mandalorian from the Black series, so you can see that. He's definitely taller than Mandalorian. We'll swap Agent out for Green Lantern from McFarlane DC, and you can see the difference there. Then we'll swap over to a G.I. Joe Classified figure. We'll pull out Green Lantern and bring in Master Chief from the Jazzwares Halo. This is supposed to be a 6.5-inch figure, but he's much taller than 7 inches, as you can see. And then, almost finally, we've got a Jazzwares Fortnite action figure, Jonesy, and he's quite a bit taller than that figure. Now, I know there is one figure that most everybody out there is super curious about, and yes, the final height comparison will be with Jazzwares Meowscles, if we can get him to stand. And as you can see, Hasbro's is just a shy bit shorter, just a little shorter, and Jazzwares is actually bent over. Here, let's go sideways, and you can see what I'm talking, maybe. We'll see. So I'll have to hold them like this. You can see Jazzwares is hunched over just a little bit more, and I've had to bend him over because I find Jazzware's figure really hard to stand up. I'm not going to do a ton of comparison in this video. In fact, I'm going to do another video, and this is great that we have Meowscles from Hasbro, because I'm going to do a Jazzwares versus Hasbro comparison with these two figures, so keep an eye out for it soon. It's been stated that these figures have over 20 points of articulation, but it doesn't say anywhere specifically how many points of articulation they have. I've gone through and I believe that I've counted up 34, and let's go through and I'll show those to you now. So starting at the feet, there's a hinge up and down. There is a bit of a peg going into the foot, so if you wanted to, you could rotate the foot kind of oddly. It doesn't really, I don't think it's meant to be any kind of a rotation that's proper, but it can rotate. The shin, or the calf area, has a rotation there. There's double pinless knees, and it can go back about that far, pretty good. At the waist, you can bring his legs up that far if you want to do the splits. He could also sit, and if he's jumping out of the battle bus, kind of about like that. So let's do that again there, and like about there. His tail does have a rotation. In fact, it's on a ball joint. Again, like Link's, you could pop the tail out and put it back in just like that. He has a rotation at the waist, but it is extremely difficult to do because his belt here, let's bring his arm up, is not his belt, but his holster, his straps here, his gear, web gear stuff. When you go to rotate him, it stretches this, and so you can't really get a good turn. If you take the web gear off like that, let's get that off, there you go, then he can rotate around just fine, no problem. But this web gear, this holster belt shoulder strap, causes him problems here. It's a little bit tight sometimes to get it on and off. But yeah, you could rip it out. You could do some damage to that system if you just go and start twisting him around. Because I've pulled that off, it kind of stretched this a little bit. So he's got an ab crunch. He can go down about that far. And he can go back about that far. Kind of weird looking. I have this brutal ab crunch. But anyway, I'm not a huge fan of it myself. His head rotates. It's on a ball joint, so it rotates all the way around. He can look up, well, impressively, maybe not that far. He can look down better than up. But there is nothing here on the neck like the other figures. It's a solid ball joint just like that. His arms, I've discovered on my figure, are very stiff. Now, he's got the butterfly joints, and just like Midas, they work really well. You can really bring, I'll see if I can do it sideways here. You can bring his arms really far forward and really far back. He's got a really nice motion there. So, as I mentioned, the arms on my figure are stiff. There we go. You can bring his arms up about that far. They can rotate, no, that's the bicep rotation, but the arms also rotate around. He's got double pinless elbow joints, and he's got some muscles, so, but he can go up about that far. Squeeze him in. For the wrists, he has a rotation, and the hinge is on the wrist, or the hand itself, not the arm. So he has a left to right hinge, not the... Oh, actually, the left and right are different. The left hand goes back and forth left to right. The right side, he just did the splits all on his own. The right one looks like goes up and down. Kind of makes... I'm going to set him down for a second. Let's look at these. Nope. Both of these extra hands go left to right. That's interesting that only his right hand goes up and down. That's kind of curious. So that's his articulation right there. So he does have the hindrance of this belt system. If you can get it off and you don't want it on, you could snip it, pull it off, then he's got full rotation and anything. It's interesting that his face is printed on. It's not molded. There's no eyes. There's no nothing. It's just printed on. I guess I better be careful. I don't want to compare Jazzwares with this figure just yet. We'll do that later. His hands... Oh, I didn't slide these in. He's also got the dual pistols that will slide right into his holsters on his side. And you've got this back bling that'll attach right in, provided you can actually find the hole. Kind of looks, sticks out a little ways. It's kind of weird looking. So you can also slide this gun in and tuck it in pretty easily, I think. I don't think it's very hard. One thing about this hand is you can't have him hold it, because his hands, I'm going to regret saying this, I know I am, but his hands don't open to wrap around the, is it the barrel? I'm not a huge gun person, but anyway, you could try to pry these hands open, but I think you're going to do damage to the hand to get him to hold it. So he'll never properly hold this gun with the second hand. Doesn't have to. Yeah, he doesn't have to, just pointing that out. You can slide his harvesting tools into his hands. That's not really difficult. Yeah. Well, I say that and then I groan and grunt as I slide it in and have him slide all over the ground. But I don't know, if you ask me, the harvesting tools are a little bit short. They're kind of small for this figure, and maybe I'll have to check in-game again. I don't know, they just seem kind of small. So we'll toss the accessories to the side. Now I want to point out a couple things that I've noticed, and I'm going to zoom in here and brighten things up a little bit and tilt. We're going to look at his pants. So I don't know if you can tell this or not. Like right here, the pants, the legs are textured to make it look and feel like a jean material. It's really neat looking. I got to make sure I keep this in focus here. But you can see kind of the lines through there. It feels really cool and it looks really cool. How they've got that textured. So let's zoom in on his face, because I was pointing out that his face is painted on. Can only get so close, but I think that's close enough. So that's his face, and it's a great paint job, but yeah, that's interesting. And then he's got this little tattoo over here on his left shoulder, if I can get him to stand. I hope he doesn't have the same problems as Jazzware's figure that's very difficult to stand. So he's got this #1 trophy tattoo over here on the left side. And he's got some scratch marks, claw marks, scars over here on the right side. A little X scar down here. And yeah, I mean, look at the belt here. I'll adjust the camera down again. But the belt's really cool too. Right there. And it's got the little bumps in it to give it the impression of how the belt attaches. It just looks like a belt. The look of it is really pretty cool, I think. There we go. I think it looks cool. He's got little gold paw prints over here on his holsters. It's just, the figure is nice. Don't get me wrong about that. The figure is nice. So let's get reset here real quick. As we're wrapping this up, I want to do one more set of height comparisons, and that is with the other Hasbro Fortnite figures that have come out so far. Here we have Lynx standing next to the figure. There's Chaos Agent. Here is Ripley. Ripley is about the same height. We're getting kind of full here. And his old boss, Midas. At least that's what I call him. I call Midas Meowscles boss. So we'll scoot them over here just a little bit, get all 5 of them in here. So that's about how tall they are. Ripley is nearly the equivalent, and Midas is pretty close, just a little hair shorter than Chaos Agent and Lynx for the bottom. Overall, this is a skin that I initially was not excited about when he popped up in the game, but it has grown on me since then. I would have preferred the more neutral version, like this one here, but because Jazzwares put one out earlier in the year, I can probably understand why they didn't put this one out, but they put the Shadow one out instead. So I think overall, there's a few little things, but overall it's a pretty good figure, minus the hindrance of rotation at the waist from the belt. He stands, and that's a huge plus. His belt also doesn't connect here at the front of his pants like Jazzwares, so that's another big plus as well. I would love to see a neutral one sometime next year. Shadow's not my favorite. I'm getting kind of tired of the Shadow figures overall, but maybe that's something that Epic is wanting the companies to release. But I'm kind of getting tired of Shadow. Let's get some Ghost. Maybe the Ghost version of Meowscles, because I know Hasbro likes to repaint figures, and so I'm all up for that because there are some good repaints in the Fortnite skin list of skins and characters. So yeah, I would love to have a neutral one and a ghost, ghost one. Screwed up Ghost and Shadow there for a second. How could I do it? Such a daring thing. Anyway, now it's your turn. What do you think about this figure? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And just because of their connection, if you haven't yet checked out my review of Lynx, do so before you get out of here. It's in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and share it everywhere if you found it helpful at all, because it does help the channel to grow. I will see you in the next video.